All right, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, chat is already here. Welcome in everybody. We are going to react to this video. I don't know how much of it we're going to get through. I'm going to try to get through the whole thing because I am eating. But I will warn you in advance. First of all, I do trust these people. You know, like I've been following them for a few years now. So they make, good stuff. It is 22 minutes long, so that's why I said I don't know how much of it we're gonna get to. Yeah, that and the fact that I'm eating. I don't know why these Let's Reacts kind of come out of me eating. I mean, it kind of fits, right? But anyway, what we're going to be looking at today. Stop it. Cut it out. Did you stop? I don't know if you stopped or not. Did you stop? Yes, you did. Okay. Bang. Okay, this means nothing to you. It might mean something to some folks if they recognize it. But what we're going to be watching is a video from Game Ranks. Is it Game Ranks? I don't want to. Okay, you know what? I don't want to show you on my screen because then I'm gonna give away the next reacts video. Shh. It's Game Ranks. GAMERANX. It's gonna show up in their intro anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to make sure I got it beforehand. What we're going to watch is 10 game mechanics that need to make a comeback. I thought this was very interesting. For one, the the thumbnail had CJ from San Andreas, so I'm curious. So yeah, let's just go ahead and start this. Let's see what they're talking about. Yeah. All right. I will warn you beforehand, just one last disclaimer. It's not crazy, but there is some swearing involved. So just a heads up on that. I did not watch this beforehand. Yeah, normally, well, anyway, I didn't watch this beforehand, so let's see what they're talking about.
There is nothing new under the sun, as they say. This is true of all art, and it's true of features, mechanics, and other stuff from video games. What I'm trying to say is that somebody just needs to rip off the damn Nemesis system.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll talk about it in
do.
depth when we get going.
Yeah.
Hi, folks,
Yeah,
it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 features that should be caught.
That's actually, so I'll show you right now. See, Middle of Earth, Shadow of Mordor. That was a game I was like, maybe I need to do a series in that one. It's a long one because of the way that I play. It's a long one. You recruit people, and you can have people battle each other and have your own kind of army type situation. Because of the way I play, it's long. So so that Nemesis system is crazy.
Copied from other games. Yeah, I'd say we're coming in hot, so let's get going with number 10, Active Reload from Gears of War. To be serious, game mechanics do not get much more iconic than this. The Gears of War series is known for a lot of things. Hyper macho meat slabs of meat, chainsawing orcs into meat slabs.
Speaking of which, I just saw, was it today? No, it was yesterday. Gears of War E-Day has a 12-player co-op horde mode that's coming out with the E-Day game. That's in October. That's like in 2.5 months. I'm behind. Haven't even started Gears 1 yet, but it was just something. I'm sad to even announce that that's coming because PvE. You say PvE, I'm interested. So, especially co-op.
Melodrama, over-the-top set pieces, and, of course, the active reload system. And also meat. It's a simple concept, but it works really well. Every time you reload, a meter appears, you hit the reload button again, when the line is over the sweet spot, and you instantly reload. But if you mess up, the gun jams and it takes longer to reload. There's also the chance of getting a perfect reload, which is riskier, but if you do it in time, the ammo that you have reloaded will do extra damage. I mean, it actually has appeared in a bunch of post-Gears games, too. because people like it. Dead Space Extraction, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars Battlefront, the Sniper Elite games do it. The list goes on, but the thing that the vast majority of these games
It must
lack
have been
is
a
the
recent
perfect
one
reload.
because two did not have. Yeah, it must have been a
Which is
recent
what
one
really
that I
makes
haven't
the
played yet.
OG the most interesting and engaging version of this mechanic. Everyone else kind of does the basic hit the button on the line to reload faster stuff.
The DBD
without the
effect.
powered up weapon damage part.
Dead by
Some
Daylight.
have done it, but the vast majority don't. Maybe they don't want to be accused of being too similar to the original Gear system.
Correct.
Or maybe they don't want to put in the extra work to balance a system like that out. Because I have to imagine it is something that requires more balance. But
Is it?
I haven't really seen a serious attempt to replicate active reload from Gears, and I think more games should. At number 9, I told you we talk about the Nemesis system, and I'm not going to keep you waiting.
Yes.
Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War.
Yep.
It's 2025, and we still haven't got a game that actually expands on or enhances the Nemesis system stuff introducing these games. It's such a
I
good
think they
idea on
copyrighted
paper.
it.
And those games did scratch the surface of what's
I
possible
heard-
with such a system.
I heard that they copyrighted this, and like the whole thing between Power World and Pokemon, that whole lawsuit thing, where they literally had to change the animation where the POW they couldn't throw the balls, the POW spheres, I think you call them. They couldn't throw them. Like that whole thing with Nintendo and Pokemon. There's so many copyrights in place that the good things, like for example, Pokemon or Shadow of Mordor, or even Shadow of War, now that those games are out, that system is literally just collecting dust because it's tied in the closet, and the closet's in the basement. It's tied up all the way down there, and nobody else can use it because of legal stuff. So it's like it's tough to be innovative when you see good things that are tied to copyrights.
But there's so much more that could be done with this. Just to give a little context, the Nemesis system is the underpinning thing running Sauron's army in these games. Orcs are randomly assigned traits, strengths, weaknesses, etc., and they can change and evolve dynamically as the game goes on.
Yep.
These orcs also get into fights with each other, which some will win to get stronger and gain new traits, some lose, get weaker. Killing certain orc captains can possibly make them come back for revenge, and they'll gain immunity to things that you used to kill them before. Sometimes they actually come back weaker after encountering you. It's all the hunt down the leader open world gameplay. It's actually interesting and potentially more varied. Ultimately, one orc becomes your real nemesis. If they kill you, they become stronger.
Get back up! I've got so much more delicious pain to give.
And there's supposed to be this push and pull where they get the upper hand. Sometimes you get the upper hand. It's meant to be this procedurally generated drama that's a natural extension of the game mechanics. That's not really how the Shadow games play out, because in practice you nearly are unkillable pretty quick. So there's rarely any real danger of dying. Kind of neuters the system out of the gate. So I think there's a lot of unrealized potential here. A new game that really digs down deep into the system could really do something incredible with it, but I don't think that's happened yet because of the patent on the mechanic that it's in place until at least 2035. Although, I want to go ahead and say something here. Game mechanic patents suck. It's a limit on creativity and innovation in the industry, but it's not the kind of silver bullet that companies want you to think it is. If you want to accomplish something and you accomplish it in a slightly different way, that's not the same thing. The code is copyrighted, so don't copy the code. And the exact way they do it is patented, but I mean, just do it a bit different. Like, I would want people to do it a bit different anyway. Otherwise, don't bother. Like, we're talking about stuff that would make it better because, frankly, again, lots of unrealized potential here. But another reason why I think maybe people don't do the Nemesis system is it does kind of throw up a unnecessary hurdle in terms of development of a game. Like, it's tough to make a game, period. And then you throw in this mechanic that creates lots of dependencies. I mean, everything could be way easier to break ultimately. So those are the two reasons why I don't think people try to copy the Nemesis system. Probably really hard to do, and the stupid patent. Some games do have some rudimentary versions like Mercenaries or Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but that's basically it. The rumor mill was saying for years the now canceled Wonder Woman game was going to use the Nemesis system. That really could have been something, but that game's done. Monolith is closed, so I think the chances of a new game picking up the ball and running with it they're pretty slim. I do hope somebody just frickin' does it, but like for now, the Nemesis system, it's a no-go.
I think, to be fair, I think they were the ones that covered the fact that the whole patent thing. I think I heard it from them. I'm pretty sure I did.
Moving on to number 8, memory shards from Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. It's a simple and easy to implement feature that I'm kind of shocked it took till 2024 to happen. Maps are one of those things that we sort of begrudgingly use most of the time in video games. They're necessary for navigation, but they barely evolved in the, like 40 plus years of gaming that I have observed. You get a map screen with some vague shapes. Maybe you're gonna get some markers to put a pin on if you're lucky, but that's about it. One of the most common problems in Metroidvania, or really any game that has a degree of backtracking, it has the player rely heavily on maps for navigation, and it's often really hard to remember where you want to go back to, and more importantly, why. Sometimes games are nice and give you some details on the map to highlight, but when it comes to games with puzzle-heavy elements or secrets that don't get marked on the map for you, there's obviously going to be moments of confusion. You're going to forget where to go or if there are markers, and you're going to forget what those markers are supposed to represent when they're there. I don't know. Lost Crown avoids all that confusion with this super simple, very innovative solution. Instead of forcing you to take notes or rely on external screenshot programs, you can just take a screenshot in-game and it'll get tagged at the location on the map. So if you find a ledge that's too high to reach or a location that requires a certain power to proceed, you can just check the screenshot and see exactly what it is you need to do before backtracking.
Okay, I get it. So it's like a point of interest in GTA, but it's a point of interest, but it's a screenshot. See, it says vision memorized right there. So it's literally like a point of interest, but it's literally you taking a note of the area and what was going on in it. Okay.
I get why some games might want to do this, because it is a very powerful tool, but with every controller coming in with a screenshot button nowadays, I think they're just needlessly fighting a rising tide. Maybe that's part of the reason so few games attempt this. It's because they think people can just take their own screenshots anyway, but I disagree. I think having them accessible inside the game from the map, it's a huge thing. It's closer to how your actual memory works anyway, so why not simulate it? And number 7 is dynamic weight and muscles from GTA San Andreas. One of those mechanics that it seems like only Rockstar is able to get away with. Nobody's even attempted to replicate the system to any similar extent. And San Andreas it's more than 2 decades old at this point. It's not even that it's that complicated mechanically speaking. You start off the game with a set appearance, but if you overeat, it's possible to gain weight until you become a beast.
Yeah. Funny enough, I actually did this. That's cute. I don't know if that's just 2019. Anyway, I actually did this, and then like as soon as I unlocked the gym, I ate all I could eat to make him as big as possible. No muscle, no nothing. I just ate. And then I started working out every day to get him to, where you would usually see him, where he's, buff and has all the stamina in the world, So it was actually, I took a screenshot too. I can't.
And then you can work out and you can build muscle mass. It doesn't just change your appearance, it affects the game mechanically too.
Correct.
Like if you're overweight, you're slower, your stamina sucks, some missions can't be done if you're too fat. Changing your weight and muscle mass affects the dialogue, how other characters react to you.
I never experienced that.
I want you to use that gizmo you acquired, but you gotta lose some of that ballast first, badass.
On top of clothes that you
Sorry
wear,
about the language.
it's all stuff that easily could be done today. It was possible on PlayStation 2, so, on a technical level, there's nothing limiting here. The problem is asking developers to put in the extra effort to do something like this, which is ultimately pretty inconsequential to the average gamer. It's one of those goofy things that requires a lot of extra work and doesn't really fundamentally affect the game in any major way. So it's one of those things that probably gets cut early from a lot of projects in which the idea came up. Wouldn't be surprised if a lot of games following San Andreas thought of including a system like this, but didn't. They just gave up on it because of resources. And let's be serious, it would take resources. I mean, not even Rockstar has done it with GTA 4 and 5. If Rockstar isn't copying this stuff, then there's no chance in hell anybody else is. And number 6, shooting off enemy parts and using them from Horizon Zero Dawn. Easily one of, if not the most satisfying thing in the Horizon games. It's when you blast weapons off a machine's back and then pick it up. And
they have that in Black Ops 6, like where you can actually shoot off the Mangler's arm and use it as a weapon, like as part of like the Easter egg, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like to open up the store on one of the maps. I forget what map it is. I feel like it's the original map.
Use it against them.
They do
Picking
have
up
that.
unique single-use weapons off
cool.
enemies it's not
It's
something
very
the game
cool.
invented, but the way you can literally blast them off, pick them up, and immediately it just feels unique
Like
and very.
like being able to use the enemy's weapons. Like it always bothered me, honestly, when like you would kill an enemy and their weapon would either disappear or you couldn't pick it up, or let's say you kill the enemy before they see you and you need ammo and the game allows you to pick up ammo, right? You walk over the weapon and it gives you like three or four bullets. It's like, is that what they were carrying? Were they really carrying only 4 bullets in their gun? When they have infinite ammo, were they really carrying 4 bullets?
Be satisfying. And you're not just weakening your enemy, you're also getting the advantage on them. It's not a lot more complicated than that. I don't think there's anything else to it. But another element that makes it feel fun is how rare these high-tech weapons are normally. In these games, you're mostly running around with spears and a bow and arrow. So when you get a heavy machine gun, it's not just a powerful weapon, it's a weird novelty that plays up
Those
the bizarre
numbers remind me of
nature of this
Power.
low-tech but also high-tech
damage
world.
numbers.
The recent Monster Hunter games do something vaguely similar by making it so scales can get knocked off a monster. Those can be loaded in your sling, but you're just shooting pods at them, and
we
it's not
missed.
nearly as satisfying as unloading like a volley of explosives. Another older game that kind of did something in the same ballpark was Hulk Ultimate Destruction with the weaponized mechanic, but it's not quite the same. Just having enemies that you can damage
God, this looks
modularly
familiar.
is pretty unique and something I'd like to see appear in more games, but what I really want is to blast more machine guns off of mechs and then turn around and shoot the mechs with their guns.
There was a game I really wanted to get into. It was Ultimate Spider-Man. I couldn't get into it. Not because I didn't like the game or anything like that, but there was a part of the game, and some people know where I'm going with this. There was a part of the game that was just tedious. Instead of being fun, it was tedious. And what I'm talking about is playing as Venom. You'd have a bar, basically, kind of like in GTA with their special meter, how it goes down. But it was literally your health. But it wasn't your health per se. It was being implemented like a hunger bar. It was a hunger bar in place of your health. So you had to constantly eat people if you wanted to stay as Venom. Again, tedious. I wanted to get into that game. I wanted to play it a lot more. But because Venom is one of my favorite characters. But
Simple. I'm
I
sorry,
couldn't.
but
I
like
just couldn't.
that's enough for me. At number 5 is the pawn system from the Dragon's Dogma series. One of those game concepts that's so closely associated with a single series, I can see why it's never been copied before. It'd be difficult to replicate it without feeling like you're just trying to be Dragon's Dogma.
What is he talking about?
Actually, it'd be hard to replicate in general, because even after playing the hell out of Dragon's Dogma, both of them, I don't know if I can fully grasp what exactly the pawn system is, and particularly why it exists. I mean, we'd be here all day if I tried to fully explore the ins and outs of the pawn system, and that kind of makes it unique. Broad overview is that pawns are essentially AI companions.
Okay.
They're designed to be a lot quicker than your average brainless companion character, etc. It's not that they're just built by other players, or that they learn or adapt by experiencing things in the game, or that they say the same thing a lot. What makes pawns so interesting is that they are meant to elicit the feeling of companionship and camaraderie, even though they're just custom characters. They're meant to make it feel like you're playing a co-op game with your friends, but they're not real people. They're like scripts, basically. And there's a whole lot to these guys that makes them unique and interesting, but
So is this basically Thralls and Conan? Is that basically what he's talking about? Because like I'm seeing this stuff and I saw the character, like I'm seeing the customization and stuff like that. They have levels. I don't know what the RC thing is. It must be some type of like power. I don't know. Or like armor level. I don't know. But it basically seems like Thralls and Conan, which I'm not gonna lie. Any game that allows me to get help, I'm all for it. Meaning Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 3, Revelations even. All the ones where they allowed you to have Assassin's recruits, specifically 3. I love 3 because you could walk around with your recruits once you recruited them. And like you could just walk around like a mob or you know what I mean? Like, and if people started to investigate you, your boys was right there. There was a girl in there too, but your people was right there. Like that just made me I don't know. I did the same thing in San Andreas. I went straight to, like, as soon as I unlocked the gang territory thing, like where you could do the territory, the turf wars or whatever they called it. I forget what they called it. But I did everything I could to max out my respect so that I could get the most amount of members following me. Speaking of which, I was one of those people who did a dedicated server for Conan Exiles, but not a like, you know, rent a server type thing. No, Conan Exiles has a dedicated server within their system. I learned how to do it. I installed mods and everything. And one of the mods I installed was the ability to increase the number of thralls. I went from the 2 that you get, technically, right? And a horse, which the horse doesn't really count like that. So the 2 thralls that you could get, right? I went from 2 to being able to bring out 5. Were there collision issues? 100%. Did I get stuck sometimes? Yeah. But here's the thing. With me getting stuck, it was temporary. Because there were buttons that was like, hey, y'all, get away from me. Which freed me up. So, you know, there were caves that were annoying. Especially depending on what you had. I never brought the shellbacks. Nope. I did in the beginning because those are the beginning tames. 1 or 2. And they were just literally just like, not fodder, but they were just like, they were like temporary relief. Meaning that they were tanks that could take some damage. If I got into a fight, they would take the attention off me so that I could kill the enemy, right? So I used that to get to my main area. Again, only like 2 or 3, if that. I would use that to get to my main area, and then I'm going to get tiger cubs. And I'm going to get cubs until I get the white tiger. So, and yeah, the first white tiger I would get, his name was Max. Every time. I don't care how many playthroughs I did. First white tiger was always named Max. And I didn't really like, I just started getting into thralls, meaning not the pet tames, but the people tames, I guess, if you want to call it that way. Um, but the people, the ones I would bring with me, I'd have a white tiger. The saber-tooths were okay, I'll be honest. They did a lot of damage, but they had virtually no armor, so you always had to watch them. I'm trying to think. I didn't use the hyenas because they would always break. They would literally get stuck there with their mouth open, and they would just be rocking back and forth when they're supposed to be attacking. So I stopped using the hyenas. I'm trying to think. I'm mad I can't think of it. There's literally a group I would. What was it? Jaguars? I'm blanking. I'm blanking right now.
Ultimately, they're just so weird it's hard to imagine them appearing in other games. Sure, you'll get randomly generated mercenaries in Baldur's Gate 3 or something, but that's about as far as it goes generally. Pawns are so much more complex, and their own behaviors and proclivities they're changing on depending on what you do. They learn from gameplay. It's just a fascinating system that even if the cracks do show, maybe more often than they should, the core concept just should be explored more. It's interesting, it's weird, and I'd like to try it in
Panthers. So these are all the tames that you can get in Conan Exiles. And it wasn't the Jag, it was the Panthers. I think I can't remember. I'm sad that I can't. I've spent so much time in that game, and I can't. I remember having a white tiger. I didn't run around with regular tigers because they were always so much weaker. So I think honestly, I didn't really run around with lions that much. I genuinely believe didn't do the rhinos for the same reason as the shellback. They were too friggin' big. I want to say it was the panther. I want to say it was the panther. I genuinely can't remember. I'm gonna keep looking at this. I can't remember.
in other contexts, even if the possibility of that happening is pretty unlikely.
Master, I vow to weigh my every word before speaking. When in doubt, I shall hold my tongue.
I had a greater wolf.
And number 4 is Squad Command from Freedom Fighters in first person or third.
No! Freedom Fighters was my game on PlayStation 1.
Person game.
Okay. I'm not. This is 0 hour, is it not?
Where you can issue commands. Or usually
See, this is what I'm talking about. Tactical.
Pretty basic or not very granular or complicated.
Army of Two.
And if they try to reach some kind of middle ground, the mechanics generally either...
I just finally got this to work. I'm not gonna lie to you. On 360, like on my Xbox, it wasn't. I don't know what I did. Maybe, maybe it was because like when you play 360 games and you come back to them, like time later, they tend to like freeze up or like kind of get stuck. And you have to, like, I don't know how many people know, but you have to clear your Xbox 360 cache. And I finally got Army of Two to work.
Superfluous or so broken, it's
The first
practically unusable. Enter 2003's...
This, oh my God, bro. I had 2 controllers. Oh my God. I had 2 controllers and did the PvP. And I did the defend here. And then... with the other controller, I took, 12 people? Or, no, and the multiplayer was like 8 or something like that. And I was like, Attack that. Yo, bro.
Freedom Fighter is one of the rare
I'm sorry.
IO interactive games that's not called Hitman.
This
what
ga-
makes this game unique is that your main dude
It
is
was
not
so
all that strong
good.
individually. Shooting is pretty inaccurate, and you move
Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think I'm playing. I need to. I might try to get it for PlayStation. Y'all think I'm playing. I need to figure out who's selling this game. I'm not gonna get it for PC because it's not gonna work. Xbox, that's probably not gonna work either. I'm gonna try to get it for PS2 because that's what I had it for. I'm gonna try to find it on eBay. Sony PlayStation 2, $7. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. Some people may think I'm crazy. I'll pay $18 for it. I absolutely will. Cause I want the game that much. Mercari, I haven't had any issues with them, so I'm keeping this tab. Yep. Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think it's a game.
move around pretty slow, so you're not going to get a lot done on your own. But with
Correct.
a little help,
Look,
with one,
look, see, look. God, I missed this game. You could literally individually or collectively, but my point is, you could individually assign them to different spots. Like, for example, above my head, that way, there are 2 boxes right here. You could literally tell one of them to stay on this box, and you could go to the next box, hit the button again, and somebody would come and defend that box. The same way that guy right there is staying on that corner. Listen, bro. Listen.
2, maybe 10 extra squad mates.
I don't remember
you can
this
bring
map,
the fight to the
but
invading
listen.
menace.
Look, see. Look, see. These were all. These arrows. These are the follow me arrows. You're about to see the lightning bolt, which means attack, and then obviously the shield will mean defense.
1, 2,
Bro, listen.
maybe 10 extra squad
See, one at a time.
mates. You
Boom,
can
boom.
bring the fight to the
Boom.
invading
See what I'm saying?
menace with some simple but intuitive
look at them,
squad
look at
command systems.
Bro.
They do a pretty good job, I
See, and this is follow me.
think, making you feel like a commander rather than just a Rambo with some AI
Look at that.
companions that are utterly
Look at
worthless.
that. I do not
basically
remember
just
this
for
map.
show.
I don't know
You
what this
how
is.
most
This
shooters
does not look familiar at
generally
all,
do
and I
it.
remember
Very
a lot
few
about
games
this
have
game.
managed to be as fun.
This
and
was the very
satisfying
beginning. This is the tutorial part. See, press and hold right button. See, this is the tutorial part. This is literally the beginning of the game when you come out of your apartment. Listen,
is
bro.
this one
this
in terms
game
of squad
here, bro.
control. One of the only games that even manages to come close is the
Kane and Lynch, the first one. I might need to get that because that's on 360.
first Kane and Lynch game, which borrows the squad stuff wholesale, but
do.
that makes sense because it's also an IO game. Commanding guys is fun, but what really makes Freedom Fighters unique is how the missions are split up.
That's another tab. Kane and Lynch 1. Because I have Kane and Lynch 2, and I just didn't want to play it because of the fact that it did not have the squad thing. Like the Assassin's Creed the Assassin's Creed games, that's better, that I enjoyed the most were the ones with the recruit where I had help, where I had people that could listen. You know how many hours I spent? What was it? Was it Assassin's Creed 2? Because we're about to play that. Was it Assassin's Creed 2? I can't remember. It was either 2 or Brotherhood. You could hire thieves, like thieves off of the street. Like if they come in groups, them, the courtesans, and then the mercenaries who fought and stuff like that. You could hire the thieves. And if you did certain things, because like they had like a challenge board for each faction. Like they had a thieves guild, they had the mercenaries, whatever, and then the courtesans, whatever. For the thieves specifically. So basically you did stuff for them or did specific tasks that they wanted you to do, like pickpocket 10 people or something like that. And it would unlock something for you when you hired the thieves, right? So you do enough for the thieves, And what the thieves did, you could tell them, this is what I did. Hours. You go to a crowded street. You have them follow you to a crowded street. You position them in the middle of the street. Tell them to stop follow you and watch the money come in. Because they would pickpocket every single person that walked by them. And you would get the money for it. Hours. You'll see it. I'm telling you, you'll see it. I might not be able to film all of it because it's not going to be interesting. But you'll see. You'll listen. Okay. You'll see it when we play it. I'm same strat. I'm doing the same strat when we play it.
Non-linear objectives, and you can tackle them in whatever order.
I remember this. Is this New York? I feel like this is New York. This is still early game because he only has 3. You get up to 12 in the story, but like I said, in the multiplayer, I think it's like 8 or 6.
Depending on what you want to do first, it can affect the enemy's ability to counterattack. I don't know. It's interesting. Imagine a
look, they're injured.
Open world game that expanded on these ideas. I mean, you could do some crazy stuff, but so far nothing's really replicated Freedom Fighter's uniquely simple and satisfying squad progression systems.
Stand your ground. Follow me. Attack.
And number 3, Dimension Machine.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. Let me. Sorry.
From Fantasia Neo Dimension. The Mistwalker RPG is known for 2 things, maybe 3. It was originally Apple exclusive. It's got beautiful handcrafted backgrounds, like actually built by hand, not just CGI made to imitate the look. Someone built the things for real, and it's got this clever system where you can stick random battles and triggers wherever you want, etc. That's what the Dimension Machine is. As you explore the world, you can activate the machine, and instead of forcing you to engage in...
I gotta, hold on. I'm sorry. I apologize. We're going to do this real quick because I need to see something. Can I? That's a dumb thing. We did it. We already did it. Never mind. I don't need to test it. I was wondering if I played a 360 game, could I use the Xbox app to put it on my thing so I could record it? So I could literally make a recording out of Kane and Lynch and stuff like that. But we already did that with Assassin's Creed. It was a 360 game.
Standard random battles. It adds battles to a queue, which will continue to stack up as you skip past more and more battles. Eventually, you'll have to deal with them. But when you do, you can simply do them all back to back in order to get them over with faster. Essentially, the game's giving you a tool to both ignore battles when they might be inconvenient and also grind quickly and efficiently when you want to. It's a great system that I wish had been in a lot of other RPGs, particularly ones with frankly diabolical encounter rates like Skies of Arcadia on the Dreamcast. I love that game, but wowee, this would have been life-altering for that game. The problem is most RPGs just don't have random battles anymore, so this is kind of fixing a problem that games have sidestepped entirely. I mean, you still mostly get enemies wandering around the map that attack you when you approach, so the system could be applied there. I'm not saying it couldn't, but most modern RPGs have fast real-time combat or carefully managed encounters that are specifically designed to be spaced out and challenging, so I'm not sure how necessary this system would be for future games. It's a weird one because I do wish more games had copied this in the past rather than I really want them to copy it in the future, but I don't know. If developers are going to make a throwback and include random battles, this is probably the way to go with that. It solves a lot of the more common issues people have with this old school JRPG staple, and it works well.
I don't know what he's talking about.
That's a new one. Eat this!
I heard the avoiding battles thing and grinded. That's all I heard.
And quick saving from Shadow Tactics. Maybe it's more of a me problem, but one issue that pops up a lot if you're the type of person to play PC-oriented games using a controller, it has to do with quick saves. If you're not using a keyboard, they're not quick. In games that encourage you or require you to quick save a lot for that matter, it's just a lot of tedious menu hunting. That's not a problem with the games of these sadly now defunct Mimimi Studios, the makers of games like Shadow Tactics and Desperados 3. Instead of forcing you to dig through menus and save when you're using a controller, these games actually have a quick save button automatically assigned to the controller by default, so there's nothing standing in your way from saving every 5 seconds if you want.
Oh, that's annoying.
Oh, I needed that.
Oh, it's Negan.
For these particular games, you really do need to save all the time too, so this quality of life inclusion
Ooh!
is incredibly helpful. They're actually the only ones I can think of that do this too. Maybe something like Demon Turf does something similar with player placed checkpoints, but otherwise, most games force you to open up at least one menu in order to save. I mean, at least games like Dishonored allow players to quick save or
might
quick
be
load
doing that
instantly
soon.
from the menu, but that sort of concession to
doing
the
that
player
soon.
doesn't happen often enough.
I
If
never
a game
finished this
offers
game.
quick save, and it's a game where you might want to quick save a lot, like, I don't know, a
See,
highly
that's-
difficult boomer shooter or
Okay.
something, then
I don't. Okay. I don't know. Hot take, unpopular opinion. I don't know what to call it. They call it save scumming, where like he's talking about quick saves and like just being able to save on the fly. I don't like that because I feel like you're taking the challenge out of the game. I feel like you're not. It's not that it's not that you're not playing the game right. You play it how you want to play it, but I feel like you're taking away from the experience if you just are constantly quick saving and quick saving and quick saving, and then it's like a checkpoint is something different. And believe me when I tell you, the Rainbow Six Vegas series. I'm not gonna say any more because only 2 episodes have come out as of what I'm saying right now. Not gonna say anything else. But save points and checkpoints is good, right? But that quick save thing where it's like, all right, about to go into battle, quick save. All right, here we go. Let me sneak around, quick save. Oh, let me go. Let me open this door. Quick save. Oh, he spotted me. Load up. It's like I
saving
you'll never see me play like that, to be honest. Like you'll never see me play like that.
should be quick
Ever.
and easily accessible. Most games don't do it, so I've got respect for those that do. But in particular, Shadow Tactics has a single button you can press to quick save. Why don't we have more games that have that?
This hat fell.
Drop of blood.
This is what I'm talking about. I get
And
it.
finally, at number 1,
I get it. Like tactics game. I get again. I understand the reasoning behind it, but it's also. Again, I have nothing more to say about it. You'll just never see me play like that. I can't.
Bonfire Aesthetics from...
I can't.
And finally, at number 1, Bonfire Aesthetics from Dark Souls 2. Out of all the oddball one-time Souls systems that have popped up over the years, I'm surprised this one has not caught on with the wider Souls-like genre. It's a
said
bit of a weird
Bonfire?
concept, kind of hard to wrap your head around, but the
What did
idea
he
is a
say?
good one that manages to fix some annoying issues that can crop up in these types of games. So in Dark Souls 2, and only in Dark Souls 2, you get these items called Bonfire Aesthetics. They're rare items that, when used on a bonfire, essentially makes it so the entire zone turns into New Game Plus.
Huh?
It doesn't affect the game, like the full game, just the area around the bonfire. Makes the enemies harder, causes certain items to respawn, revives the boss, so you can have another go at them if you want to, farm them for resources.
So it's basically like the dragon crystals in Minecraft. You just can spawn the dragon again, but it's that concept. It's okay.
Or you missed out on a weapon or something. And you have access to items and drops that normally are only available in New Game Plus. The downside here is that there's no going back after using one of these things. The area is permanently tougher than it used to be, and it stays that way forever. So if you use one, that area is plus
harsh.
1 more difficult in New Game Plus. Then when you actually do New Game Plus, it's plus 2, so tougher. For me personally, I like using them to make bosses respawn. It's really nice that this one Souls game gives you the ability to refight bosses. And not just in some boss rush mode where you don't get any souls or rewards for beating them. You can refight them in the actual game without having to go through some new game plus thing. These also revive enemies because it's the one Souls game where, at least if you're playing it normally, enemies can actually die permanently, which is something, again, only the second Dark Souls does. It was an experimental game. The developers had a lot of ideas, and this was probably one of the few unambiguously good ones, the bonfire aesthetic. I hope someone brings it back, and if not From, then one of the millions of Souls-likes in development now as we speak.
That man got one shot.
I do have a bonus game for you as well. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, the randomizer mode. Randomizers are really popular right now, so it's kind of surprising how few games actually support some form of randomization officially. Probably the biggest, or at least the most discoverable, is the randomizer mode in Bloodstained, which is pretty basic as far as these things go. Just randomizes item placement, but it's still way more than most games offer. Name a classic game, and there's probably a randomizer for it. People love adding in randomization to games they love because it gives people a new way to experience something they already like. A good
to his point, I was just about to say that. So one thing I really enjoy I'm trying to think of a game that does. I know there's plenty out there. Okay, we'll use, for example, Valheim. If you load into the game right now and you go to new game, you start playing. Save that game. You start a new game. You're not going to end up on the same map. So, like, I like things that are, like, procedurally generated, where it's just, like, things are at random, like Minecraft. That's another good one. There's different seeds to different maps and stuff like that. I don't want to get into the seeding because then people are, like, picking and choosing where they want to. That being said, it was random, which is why I don't feel bad using it. If we ever play Valheim again, I have a specific, because we do have a Valheim series on the channel that I have played it once already. But when we go to revisit it, I started a new game, completely just started a new game. And I got actually a map that I really like that I feel like would work well for another stream series. So because I found it at random, I don't feel bad about using the seed. But my point is the replayability when something is procedural like that is one of the things they were actually asking for Sons of the Forest, because all the items are static. And there's specific ways you have to get them, and they're in specific places, and you can't get this item until you get this item, because this item, you need this in order to do something to get you to this item. So I do very much enjoy the procedural aspect of games. And it creates that replayability. One of my main issues, to be honest with you, one of my main issues with early access games, I'll take, for example, Palworld. Nothing wrong with the game. It just had its 1.0 release. I played a good deal of that game. Like a good amount of time. In my own world, with friends. Never played it on stream, but I listen. I left my computer on so that I could get XP sometimes. Obviously, some of you know that you don't have to do that now. But I left it on so they could keep working. I didn't have a dedicated server. It was my own server. So if I need... My point. I'm used to game purchases, like we talked about Freedom Fighter. One of eh, eh, I don't know if I want to bring that up, but I kind of have to because that's kind of my anchor. One of the things I hated, one of the changes that I hated about 2K is when they pros and cons, I guess, if I'm trying to be diplomatic, I guess. When they made the game to where I forget what year it was a couple of years ago, but they made the game in a way where they could put in a hotfix or put in an update. Like we talked about with the PlayStation and stuff like listen, those games, you got what you got. Right? You got what you got. Which, in my opinion, put more healthy pressure on the devs to get it right the first time. Not saying they had to. There were broken things. Like, there's plenty of videos out there saying like, hey, this was broken in this game and here's how you exploit this, whatever. But you got what you got, right? The one thing I hate about early access, and like I was saying with 2K, them having the ability to hotfix stuff, is you could play the game one way, enjoy it, like really like, man, I could see me just, like I said, I played a lot. I left my computer on. I did all of this. And then the game, because of the hot fixes and updates and community feedback and all that stuff, we're talking like that sounds like early access, right? Because of all of that, now the game starts to change. And what you loved about the game was the experience it gave you. And the game starts to change. It's not to say that things can't evolve, but again, my point is, for me, and again, it's probably an unpopular opinion, it's fine. I'm used to one purchase games. I'm not used to games that, like, I can't include Destiny in this conversation because that's a bit different. DBD, Dead by Daylight. I get what they're doing. They found a formula that works. I don't play the game anymore. Whew. I'm going through those old videos now, and it's hard to even watch myself. I'm editing them for specific reasons. But as time goes on, they release new killers, new survivors with new perks. That adds to the core of what they already had. So the game continually changes, and that thus, like I was saying, the replayability of it, they just happen to monetize theirs. $7 a killer, $8 a killer, or whatever, and you get the survivor with the new perks or whatever. So it's not, and that's why I said I can't really put Destiny in this conversation because they have DLC. I don't like games that try to, you have to buy the, I don't, again, me, one purchase, done. The whole DLC structure and stuff like that, I didn't play any, and I mean not one of the DLCs for Assassin's Creed. As much as I love that franchise, was not interested in doing that. Not interested in participating in the way that works. So the replayability is one thing that obviously everybody wants, but it's how you do that that matters. For example, I am looking for, in terms of survival games, I'm looking for the ultimate experience. Green Hell on steroids, sign me up. Sign me up. I never did a full playthrough of Green Hell. I did it a little bit to as a sign off because I was about to start, because I stopped streaming at one point, so I did it because I know I did it for one viewer specifically. Shout out to Ramsey. I did it because he wanted me to play that game. Not to say I won't go back to it, but my point is we played that and we had a series on Stranded Deep. Completely different survival experiences, but My point is that the replayability of the game is extremely important. Extremely important. But again, like I'll use Power World for an example. I hopped on the other day with Queen. She showed me um she showed me her world. She showed me all the things that would change it because me and her used to play it a lot. Like we were into breeding and stuff like that. Like back when the display cases were horrendous and it lagged your game. We played on her world and Xbox, and like I had a PC. Anyway, we played a lot. We played a lot separately, and we got together every once in a while as well. And she obviously, because that's the type of person she is, she was like, you know, if you wanna, like, it's her server. That's how much she's enjoying it. Like, it's my server, it's dedicated servers. You want to hop on, you're more than welcome. If you want to join my guild and stuff like that. I didn't say like I know she's not offended at all, and she probably could tell. I genuinely had zero interest in playing that game. Not because of the Nintendo thing and all of that. Already did it. I can't remember if I bought the actual game, but I know I played it on Xbox, the game on PC. So apparently it might have been on Game Pass. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember the situation. It was free to play, wasn't it? I don't remember. This is why my memory is not great. Anyway, I played it already. Back when you had to, you know, do the iron bases and the crystal and that was a big thing. I played it already. Cool that you expanded, and she was telling me all the things that were different. Oh, this now needs this material and you need this. It was like they just built on what they already had. Cool. But I already did what you already had. So all you did was just keep doing what you already did. And I'm like, that was cool. It's just, and again, nothing wrong with the game. People are enjoying the crap out of the game. Literally, one of the streamers that I watch who plays Variety, it seems like he did a whole series with, because every day I get a notification, Power World. I think he just finished it within the last like 2 days or so. But he's been on that for like a week because of the 1.0 release. If I were to, and I'll be honest, if I were to hop on by myself, wouldn't enjoy it. Not interested. If it was like, and I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been thinking about that a lot. There's a lot of things where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not interested in playing that game. But if it was like a co-op type deal where I had somebody else with me, 100% I'd do it. So that goes for Power World as well. If I had somebody to play it with, if we had a group of people to play it with consistently, not just like, hey, if anyway, that's a personal thing that I'm looking for. Like, that's a personal thing that I'm looking for. But this goes back to the thing I was talking about. I don't remember how many videos ago, but I was talking about me as a person, like looking for the challenge. Once I feel like I've mastered something, once I feel like I'm good, like there's like, if what you're giving me is more of the same, then I've already mastered what you're trying to give me. So the challenge is gone. Once I get to that point, I'm no longer interested. I'm working on it. Because there's there is an avenue of that's not healthy, where I'm always looking for a challenge, right? But again, I'm working on it. So, like I said, there are games I just have zero interest in because they were in early access and then they completely changed. And I'm like, yeah, I've been there, did that kind of situation. He's about
Randomizer can drastically alter the standard experience of playing a game while still retaining the things that we all like about that game. And all these fan efforts that do that, I don't understand why developers aren't doing the same thing. Do you think including a randomizer would be a pretty easy way to add more value to your game, make it infinitely more replayable? It's basically an alternate game mode that people would definitely be interested in, especially if they're terminally roguelike brained like myself. They need some kind of randomization. Just gives you more of a reason to play the game again. I like me a good roguelike. How about you, though? What do you think about these? Which ones you like, which ones you don't? What old mechanic would you like to see copied in some new game? Leave us a comment, let us know.
It's Mafia 3. It's funny. They're taking advantage of the fact that the Odyssey just came out.
Now, if you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, that's a great...
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna end this video here. Not gonna end stream. I think we might go into some hardline because I don't have anybody mentioning the Halo thing. So we'll probably do that Sunday, and whoever shows up shows up. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, appreciate you so much for, you know, hanging out, watching you know, thank you for hanging out with us. I know this was kind of long, and yeah, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun. I had fun doing this. I'll be honest, I had fun doing this. So we'll do more in the future. I'm not gonna force it though. It's got to be natural. Everything I do has got to be natural. If I can't give you me, I'm not gonna give you anything. Sounds like an outro, but ladies and gentlemen, you have a good night, a good day, wherever you happen to be. I appreciate you so very much. Until next time, YouTube, y'all know the motto. If you're going to do it right. Peace, y'all. I'm going to make that louder. Tiger out. Peace, y'all.